going on in their process and how to fix their process before it fixes them. So little bit about me. Like I didn't grow up dreaming of like drawing processes, boxes, and decision gateways, right? I mean, who does, right? So as a kid, I wanted to be a cricketer, but right now here I am drawing flows, fixing broken process, and then like making businesses run smoother, one BPM diagram at a time. So jokes apart, I have been working as a business process consultant and business process architect, and I have expertise in tools like SignaView, Ares, and I have worked across different industries like manufacturing, IT, finance. So you can think of me as a person who loves flowcharts a little too much. So if you ask me, I have created more than 4,000 process designs so far. I mean, which includes your BPMN diagram, VACDs, process architectures. So this is a just a small intro about me. And before we get started, like Meena, you asked me that how I got into BPM. So I wanted to share this a small story. uh, so back in college, like when I was doing my post graduation, a company came for campus recruitment for this BPM role, and I had absolutely no idea, literally no idea what BPM was. Like I just heard the term, but I was having zero clue what it really means or what actually it involves. But again, I thought, why not give it a shot? So then uh, we received a case study to solve as part of the selection process. And now here's the thing: it was way before AI tools, like before ChatGPT and all. So nothing was there. I literally stayed up whole night, like trying to figure out what BPM is and how to solve that case. So like I went deep diving into all the articles, papers, whatever examples I could find on Google. It's like a I was feeling like I'm a detective on a mission to crack the code. So eventually I solved that case. I submitted, and like to my surprise, I got selected for that internship. Now that internship was my first real hands-on experience with BPM. I saw like how there is a separate department and how that entire department focus on mapping out their process, analyzing and improving how a company process actually work behind the scenes. So it was like discovering a whole hidden world in business operations. And to be honest, that experience really sparked my interest. I mean, from knowing nothing about BPM to realizing how cool and how important it is. And that's how my journey into BPM began. So today we are going to talk about business process management, what exactly it is, and why it basically plays a crucial role in every organization. We will also talk about a career side of BPM, like what kind of opportunities exist and what it's like to work in this field and how you can build a successful career in BPM. And just wanted to add, like to give you a real flavor of BPM, we will also explore that how be applying BPM thinking can make your job search more strategic and result driven, like if you are currently searching for any job in any field. Okay.
That sounds amazing, Harshit.
Hmm.
Actually, one of the things that got me really interested when I started reading about BPM was that you don't have to, I mean, obviously, we have set this session up for people to use it for their job search or probably anything career related. But I think, to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, one of the one of the beauties actually of BPM is that you can practically apply to anything, to any process. Like, for example, I want to excel in this area. So how can I reach there? How can I achieve that goal? So this is the process. So how can I optimize it? And it's all, evolve your kind of evolution of that process maybe is what makes it great. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like the case? Isn't this kind of thinking applicable to almost anything?
Yeah, so BPM basically it is applicable to all the departments. So just if I just summarize it, like it is a area that basically help companies to improve how they work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll say business process management is essentially the art and science of making your process better. It's all about you analyze your process, you model, you document it in a one one central point. It's like one stop shop. And after that, you optimize your business process so that companies can achieve better outcomes. Like they can they can run faster, they can work smoother and with very less waste.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say BPM is not just about creating diagrams, it's a mindset. It's a structured way of thinking about how things are done and how they can be improved. Uh, for example, let's say if you are at factory, then BPM will help you document how raw materials can get turned into finished goods. So it's like a GPS for process.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I like if you see like if you search on AI, then AI can suggest 500 process improvements in 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But still, to be honest, like people will still say in company, okay, let's schedule a meeting to discuss this. So, I mean, AI can suggest process improvements, but it's the people who will decide what kind of improvement are actually required in those processes. So, if you like, can you share that,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
So,
infographic so that we can just go through a quick BPMN diagram?
is that okay?
Yes. So let's walk through a basic yet practical BPMN diagram, which represents a typical production process. So I have already created this very simple uh, BPMN diagram. So we begin with the start event, which is triggered when a production order is received. So this is like your beginning of the production process. After that event, we move to our first activity, which is preparation of the material. So basically, this step involves like you gather all the necessary raw materials, all the components which are required for your production process. After that, your next activity is assembling the product. So here the production team will start building or assembling the products according to their specifications. Now, once the products are assembled, the next activity is quality check. Here, quality assurance team will inspect that the product uh, should meet the required standards and criteria. That's why, as per the BPMN diagram, or I'll say when you work in a BPM area, so when you model such type of process, so for that, you introduce a gateway, you keep a gateway, which is known as XOR gateway. So this is like your decision point in your BPMN diagram. So for that decision, the question is whether quality is passed. Either yes, either no. If your quality is passed, meaning if your product has passed the quality inspection, then you move forward with the next activity, which is packaging. So now the product is packed safely and now it is prepared for shipment. And finally, we have reached the end event where the product is ready for shipping. But let's say if quality is failed, if the product is failed at the quality check, then it will go to rework. So in this step, it basically involves identifying and then correcting the defects. So after rework is done, again the product loops back to the quality check. So this loop continues until your product passes the inspection and proceeds to packaging. So this model demonstrates that how we can visualize a real world production process using BPMN standards like incorporating activities, gateways, and logics. And through this, it basically will help in clearly identifying all the steps and responsibilities and all the decision points in your workflow. Yes, this is a very simple and basic process model, but when you create these processes in real business environment, when you work for any company, and when you will be creating these processes, they are very much detailed with multiple lanes, sub-process, systems, integrations, annotations, all the required attributes. And that's where BPMN becomes extremely useful. So it basically allows us to handle both simple and highly complex workflows. In any company, like basically we use tools like SignaView or Aris to create these kind of diagrams. So this is like overview about what exactly is business process management and what kind of what exactly is like BPMN diagram.
Harshit, a quick question. Well, as you said, this is only kind of a very simple example for everybody to understand how this whole processing works, process mapping works. But I imagine in a company or on a certain project, there should be many steps. So, for example, when we deal with project schedules for a project, there could be 1,000 rows in there for a project saying that every task will all the predecessors. But like, how many on average, maybe how many tasks are there, or how many steps are there on a very kind of usual project that you work on? Just out of curiosity.
Okay. So in each BPMN diagram or each business process which we model, again, there can be a list of activities. There can be, let's say, 6 to 10 activities also, and there can be 25 to 30 activities also. But ideally, the best practice and best approach is if there are too many activities, like for example, above 30. So again, we split into a sub process. For example, for example, master data issue, resolving master data, right? So master data is something in which in a company, it's like the entire data of the organization. So there are some set of activities which are performed to resolve master data. Now, in that process, again, you have, let's say, 6 to 10 activities. Ideally, what company does, they create a sub-process named as resolve master data. And inside master data, you keep all those activities. So otherwise, what will happen? Let's say you have a production process, right? Or let's say you have order to cash process. In that process, eventually it is having 20 plus activities. But inside that, if you will put all the activities of resolved master data, so the process will look clumsy and it won't look very good. Like it will look like very complex process. So that's why this is also one of the responsibility of a BPM consultant, that whatever the process he or she is designing, it should look like it should be very easy to understand from business user perspective.
Well, what are the other things that the BPM consultants do? What is their life like?
So you mean to say what kind of roles they a BPM consultant perform, right?
Yeah.
So they can be like so basically it's all about you sit with the stakeholders, business people, you identify what kind of process they are having, you map those process through different tools like SAP SignaView or Aris. You collaborate with different functional teams, because it will never be like that for example, there is a process in which only HR department is involved. No, there will be multiple departments involved. So you have to sit with multiple departments. You have to bring all of them into the table. because what will happen, HR will tell the same process, and other department will also tell the same process, but their but it will not be same. So you have to identify what exactly their current process is.
Mhm.
So many, so this is like consulting, process consulting. So this is one part of a BPM role. There is process mining, like you analyze current process, you identify what kind of like whether there are any issues in that process, any inefficiency, and how you can improve those process. And then you also act like a business process architect.
Mhm.
BPMN diagram is one part of BPMN diagram is one part. There are other type of diagram. You have value chain, you have business process architectures. So, and all diagrams have different kind of standards. So it depends, like in which project you are working or what kind of role you are performing. Sometimes you also have to sit with high level people, I mean, high level management also, who basically are involved in strategic decision making. So that's where they will tell about their high level processes or high level hierarchies. So you have to map out you have to map out that also. So that it can be clear what kind of organization or what kind of operating model the company has. Uh, so with that, I mean, at a very granular level, uh, I have created like sort of processes, sort of a BPM process for career also,
Mhm.
which is we have said that which is like a flavor for this session, like applying BPM thinking to your career. And here's what it gets interesting. You know what? Like your job search is also a process. Why? Because it has input like your goals, skills. It has output like job offers, interviews, and your job search process have bottlenecks and improvement areas also, like no response from company, or mismatch roles, or any learning gaps, or updating resume. So that's exactly the flavor we have added in this session. But before I proceed further, and before we dive into today's session for uh, BPM thinking to your career, I would like to start with some of the questions for all of you. It's for everybody. If can anyone share like what your personal job search workflow looks like? Or
Mhm.
if I rephrase the question in other words, like what are the steps or activities which you usually follow when searching for a job? I mean, if anyone would like to share, I would love to hear.
Yeah, that would be perfect if anybody would like to share ideas. I mean, for me, I would say I will start by saying that the very first step should be almost for anybody to decide to actually, you know, go for it. Like there's a point either we have a job we feel or we think that it's time to change it. It's time to go after something better, getting promoted or getting another job, better job with better, conditions and everything. Or we are, in search of it. We have just graduated maybe, or we might or feel the need to have a job. I would say the first one would be to decide. What about the rest? I don't know. Am I right? I mean, anything should start by
Yeah,
deciding. So
yeah, just like I mean, it's just list of steps or list of tasks which you follow for a job search.
yeah. Does anybody want to share ideas? Yeah, please. I was saying.
Hello, everyone. Actually, I first at the first time I search on LinkedIn and first I find the job posted based on my skills, and I review data skills that proposed uh, in the job description. Sometimes I find that some skills are not in my resume, so I add it. So I add them to my resume and send. After that, I send my resume and cover letter to that company. I change my resume based on the job proposition, or I don't know, job description. And I always send my resume to the websites, the company's websites, because I think that easy apply is not suitable, especially at the bad market situation. I think it would be better that you send your resume to the website and send your resume to the HR managers directly. Yeah. And yeah, just this.
Right. Yeah. Actually, it does make sense, but it's usually not recommended to go through easy apply. So good choice on that one. Yes, Sarah, please.
For me, always that it was like that for me, that always when I see that, when I realize that in my current job there is no, for example, situation to upgrading my knowledge, or there is no opportunity to, for example, grow my career. So I start to thinking about to finding another company or another job that might be help me to grow my career, because especially for a developer it's very important to get the new experience, get the new knowledge about the work that they are doing. And then I try to make a good resume for based on my experience that I had. And I first of all, I did that by myself, and then with lots of progress that I had before about this step, I realized that if I get the help from some website like Resume Worded, it would be very helpful to suggest me a very good point to how I can improve my resume. And then I really see the result, that the impact that I get better, and get the better request from the HR or job hunter, and also get the better related job offer from the other companies that they HR that they are looking for example, new developer. And also, as you said, and you mentioned before, the easy apply is not very helpful. Always when I tried easy apply, I didn't get any interview. So I decided to send a resume by the company website, or find the HR profile on the LinkedIn and send my resume directly to them, and speak, or send a message to them and ask them if they have a open position for my related to the my role. Please offer me. With this way I got a very good opportunity about to getting the interview, actually. And for some HR is very interesting for them, that I'm the kind of person that I really looking for to work for their company. And when they see my motivation to work there, they are very happy to invite me to the interview. So this is a way that I find it quite useful, and I suggest that others to try that. It's very helpful to directly connect with the HR for each company that they want to join.
Oh, that's great. So it starts by feeling the need, or kind of realizing that we need to do something about this job thing. And then we either go to their LinkedIn's or websites and start searching for actual open positions. And then, as Zara added, we could also, in parallel, maybe reach out to recruiters themselves to try to see if there are any positions that haven't been advertised. So there are like different routes, I would say, or approaches here. Great. And then we either get the interview or we don't. Harshit, is that correct? Is this some sort of a decision point coming up?
Okay. So, because first of all, Amir and Zara, both of you, the point which you mentioned, these are, I'll say, very key activities in your job search process, right? But let me ask you something. Have you ever taken a moment to reflect on whether your process is actually working for you? Or have you ever tried to identify where there might be gaps or inefficiencies in your process or approach? Because if yes, if you try to identify the gaps, then congratulations, you have already taken the very first step towards something we call process improvement, which basically means analyzing and optimizing the way you do things to get better results. So today, let's reframe our mindset. Instead of approaching job hunting randomly or emotionally, we'll look at it from a business process perspective. So we have applied business process management thinking to design a clear and optimized job search process. And the good part is this is not just theoretical. We have already created a well-structured and optimized job search workflow for you all. I request Meena if you can share that job search workflow. Just wanted to mention, like the overall process will be quite similar for most of the people. Each one of you may have slight variations based on your personal preference or industry or career stage, but the core idea is to have a reliable and efficient process that you can follow, measure, and improve for your job hunting process.
Harshit, can I ask, please? Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask that if you could please explain what all the symbols mean? Because
okay,
thank you.
Okay, this is too technical. I thought to cover it in later session, but okay, I'll just quickly give you a glimpse about all these symbols and all. So, okay, all right. So this is the optimized job search workflow that we have designed. So the circle symbol, which you have seen in which you are seeing right now in the previous design also, it is known as event. So there are two kind of event: start event and end events. At a very basic level, I will not go into very detail. You have intermediate events and all these, but on basic level, for any process, when you start, you should start with an event. So looking for a new job. This is your trigger point, which is when you decide that you have to search for a new job. Now, in order to conduct an effective and targeted job search, the first step or the first activity is to clearly define your career objectives, your desired role, your target industry. And once you have identified the direction where you wanted to take, the next task is to research the job titles which is related to that role. You should go through multiple job descriptions and note down the key skills, qualifications, and all the experience requirements. So this will help you gain a realistic understanding of what companies are actually looking for. And this will allow you to map your own profile against those expectations. So with that clarity, you will be moving to our next step, which is updating and customizing your CV so that you can align with the roles you are targeting. Before that, you can see this symbol, diamond symbol having plus icon, which means it's a parallel gateway. So parallelly, you will be working on your CV also, and you will be like at the same time you will also be preparing a general cover letter, because nowadays, like you have seen in most of the companies, they ask for cover letter also. So it will highlight your core strength and career goal. I mean, again, this can later be tailored to your specific application. That's why when you create from a BPMN perspective, we have created this parallel gateway, and attached. And after this, there are two paths. One is optimizing your CV, and one is generating your cover letter. And with that, again, same symbol, but this is known as merging symbol. And after that, you will evaluate whether you need to upskill or do any certifications to strengthen your profile. But for example, like again, depending on your field or the kind of roles you are targeting, it may be necessary to learn a new tool, to complete a certification, or if required, then you can brush up on your certain competencies. And based on this self-assessment, you make an informed decision about what additional learning is required. And that's how a thoughtful and well-planned job search process takes you from exploring new opportunities to all the way to securing the offer and stepping into your new role. So, I mean, I will not go to all the activities. I mean, Meena, if you can just scroll to the right.
Yes. So finding a mentor, as Zara, I think, mentioned, and then we can modify it based on what Emerson suggested, based on every role. We could also update our LinkedIn. We could search for jobs on job portals, like other means, like every other website. We have Glassdoor, this and that, you know better than me. And then we can reach out to recruiters, as Zara mentioned, reach out to network, alumni, or other mentors, or attend networking events, such as this one. Then we could either, for example, create a list of job openings, create a job search tracker, which to my experience helps a lot, guys. And then we can apply for the jobs. So based on this, for example, there is a point when we apply for the jobs, we realize that we need to still, modify our CV, so we update it. If not, we can decide otherwise. We can then write or customize our cover letter and CV and then apply for the position. Do we want to apply for other jobs? Yes, let's go through it all over again. No, well, I wouldn't recommend that, because honestly, in this market, we need to apply as many as we can. But we get an interview, yay, that's good news. Let's prep for that. So again, I mean, if I may add, you can add almost anything you want to this. It's really up to you. For example, on preparing for the interview, you can have a whole other process just for that. You can attend the interview. Are you getting selected? Yes. Well, congratulations. You now have an offer. You can negotiate it. You can accept it. Or you can sign the contract. Or no, you'd rather go all over this process again. But as Harshit mentioned, we have another event at the end that the process has ended.
Question.
Let's stop sharing. Harshit, is there anything else that you would want to add?
So just wanted to mention, like, see, I mean, in this way, like the job search workflow, with that way, you are not just randomly applying to jobs. You are following a well-defined structure and a strategic workflow. As I've said, like, it may vary. I mean, more or less the flow will be same, but it may vary 5 to 10% based on your preference and your goals. So this is overview about like your BPM thinking and how you can apply this BPM to your career from career job search point of view.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you. Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think the great thing about this is that you can tweak it to your needs in any way that you want. I will definitely send this workflow that Harshit has created for us to everybody on this session, so you could have, you know, to think about it and to apply it to your job search or to change it in any way that you want. But I think the great thing about that is that you can always tweak it to your needs, even on the spot. So for example, you want to do LinkedIn, yes, add a process there. You don't want to do that. You want only to you know, approach recruiters or to expand your network and find some job openings on your network. Absolutely, you can change it according to that. So I think, yes, the great thing about that is that you could change it, but also I would very much like to emphasize this, that it's really important to start thinking about the processes that we are dealing with on a daily basis, anything. And no, we are kind of pressed with time, but I would like to just share this bit of my experience on this. There was a point that I was doing this job search and I was getting nowhere, and I had some sort of conversations with different coaches and mentors, and they actually kind of inspired me or helped me to look back to all this process that I had, how I was approaching this job search, and all the tweaks that I made to this process. They were all personal. They weren't like about CV optimization or, I don't know, approaching recruiters and this, but they were personal and personal aspects. So I would like to say that it's not always about how you approach this job search, but also how you approach your self-development and, you know, on a personal level even. So it is, I mean, I would really recommend people to do that. But, is there anything else, Harshit, that you would like to add?
Yes, just wanted to discuss about if, like, from BPM perspective, like how it's like to work in BPM, and if the main core point, like if you wanted to enter into this field, then what kind of skills you need to have and how you can enter into this field. I'm see, first of all, as you have got the overview about BPM. Now, if you ask me that what exactly it is like working in this BPM area and what is my day-to-day responsibilities, from like fun point of view, basically a BPM consultant is like a fun. You walk into a department and you just say that, tell me how do you things, how you do your things on a daily basis. You talk to 5 people, they will give you 8 different answers, even though they are working in the same department. See, if BPM excites you, and if you're wondering that it's like what exactly it's like to work in BPM, just imagine being the person who transform chaos into clarity. Let me break it down. A BPM expert or BPM consultant wears many hats. He or she sometimes becomes a detective, sometimes an architect, even sometimes a translator between IT and business. So if you ask me, what does a typical day, like especially like for me, someone working for, like me working in BPM area, then in my experience, it's a powerful mix of technology, business logic, most important, communication and problem solving. See, no 2 days will be the same, but some core responsibilities which you will be performing are, you will be mapping your company's business processes, you will be modeling current and future process. From BPM perspective, we say as is and to be process. You have to be perfect in tools, process model tools like SignaView, Aries, Camunda, any process model tools, whatever the company is using. You will be creating and designing not only BPMN diagram, but also value chain diagrams, EPC diagrams, value chain for like showing end-to-end process visibility or organization hierarchy, all these kind of uh, diagrams. You will also be working on business process architectures. You have to ensure compliance, like you will be ensuring compliance with BPMN standards. You will be collaborating with business stakeholders, business process owners, process managers, and IT teams, like all the stakeholders who are involved in that process. So you are not just creating models, you are helping the organization to gain a better understanding of itself. So I don't just create process diagrams, I investigate how things work, I find inefficiencies, and I design smarter and scalable solutions. I would like to share a couple of real example from my experience. Uh, in one of my past projects, I was focused on optimizing process across integrated supply chain. So one of the critical issues was the lack of end-to-end visibility between demand planning, production, and logistic teams. Why? Because each team was having their own isolated spreadsheets, disconnected workflow, and different perspective of what actual process was. So this led to basically frequent inventory mismatch, like some excess stocks or stock outs, especially for high demand products. So what we did, we brought everyone to the table, from planners to plant heads, process owners, process managers, and we began modeling the actual process landscape. So first we did brown paper exercise, then we designed high level process in a value chain diagram. We call it as VACDs, so that we can map out cross functional process. And after that, we broke them into detailed BPMN 2.0 flows. So what has happened? We identified like redundant handoffs, redundant process between production scheduling and transportation planning, and we streamlined those flows with the help of SignaView. So what result we got? Not just clearer process maps, but we were also be able to help teams for better collaboration and to reduce inventory waste also. And I'll say this is the beauty of BPM, because if done properly, it's not just about writing down process. It actually improves how things are working. Another example I would like to share, and especially this is for people who are working in IT industry. I was working on a major business transformation project where client was migrating their entire ERP system to S/4HANA. Now this migration require a complete redesign and standardization of their core process so that they can align with their new platform capabilities. Now, as the part of the BPM team, I used SignaView extensively to analyze, to design, and to document all their end-to-end process. And it also involves multiple domains, because multiple domains like manufacturing, production planning, master data, order to cash, record to report. And it also involves cross-functional areas where you have to define, for example, you have to define like what process in one department is connected to other process in other department. So we have created detailed BPMN compliant process model and value chain that basically map the high level business capabilities. And we have connected them with granular process flows. So first you have high level hierarchies, you break it down to then sub levels, and then level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and your BPMN diagrams are at level 5. So by developing these comprehensive BPMN models and detailed value chain diagrams, we not only captured individual process flows, but also how these process interacts and communicate across different departments. So This is something which we call as cross-functional visibility, and it is very critical. For example, like master data management, how master data management is supporting production planning, or how order to cash process depends on accurate master data update. So this holistic mapping will ensure alignment across all the teams. So this is one of my experience because and I'll say it is one of my best experience because this comprehensive process design was not like it didn't facilitate a smooth migration, but it also significantly improved operational efficiency. As I mentioned, if you design your process very well and in a proper way, then it will reduce process redundancies, and it will also provide a solid foundation for like any digital transformation project. Now, what kind of skills are needed in BPM industry, like if you wanted to work in BPM area? First and foremost, I'll say learn BPMN 2.0. BPMN stands for Business Process Model and Notation. It's like the grammar of process modeling. So once you learn it, you can express any business process very clearly and correctly. There are plenty of free resources and tutorials which are available online. So you can just start. You can go through those online materials. And I will say that just play with the free tools. You don't need any big software or any corporate license to begin, right? So you can just start with any free tool or any trial version like Lucid Chart. Even you can get a trial version of SignaView also. So with these tools, you will be able to design and visualize process very properly. And again, in these tools, you just start documenting simple process. You don't need any big company project. Just start with what you already know, like your daily routine, how you order online food, or how you prepare for exams. So just map your real life process in BPM format. And trust me, practice will build clarity and confidence. So these things you have to follow, you have to learn, you have to be master in these tools and these methodologies. After that, again, you can follow BPM consultants on LinkedIn because this is also one of the best way by observing those people who are already in this game. Just follow BPM consultants and process architects on LinkedIn and other platforms. See what kind of work they are doing, what kind of discussion they are having about process improvement and what tools they are using. And finally, you can build your own portfolio. Just start putting together all the process models you have created. You can add some screenshots, you can write brief explanation, you can showcase like how you have mapped your process, how you have identified the problem or improved your workflows. So this portfolio will actually help you stand out when you are applying for BPM roles. One point I would like to mention that at the heart of BPM is analysis. You must be able to understand complex business operations. You should be having proficiency in BPM tools and standards. And again, BPM is not just theory. It requires actually hand-on work with specialized tools. As I mentioned, some of the tools which you can go through is SignaView, SAP SignaView, Aris, MS Visio, Lucid Chart, Camunda. These are some of the very good tools which are very much which like most of the companies are using these kind of tools only. And most important point, communication and stakeholder management. See, BPM is highly collaborative. You have to work with business users who understand day-to-day operation. You have to work with the IT teams who implement process automation. You will be working with senior management who sets strategic goals. So that's why strong communication is very much important, because through this only you will translate your technical process details into business language so that business users can able to understand the process which you have mapped in those tools. That's why uh, just learning tool is not sufficient. You have to be a good BPM professional so that you can design good process. 3 steps: creating end-to-end process map, documenting workflows clearly with annotation. You have to put all the required annotation, all the required information in that process so that any third person who look into that process should be able to understand that what kind of business process you have document. He or she should be able to understand that what is the goal of that process. And one more point, even though I'll not say it's mandatory, you should be having technical aptitude. Not mandatory, but it's always good to have understanding about integration points, some automation tools, and some digital transformation initiatives also. Not mandatory, but it's good to have these kind of basic knowledge. So this is something how you can learn about BPM and how you can come into this field.
That's great.
And,
thank you. Yeah, please do go on. Sorry.
Yeah, and one more point I wanted to share, that because most of the people ask me that whether BPM is a great career choice or not, and I'm sure people who are in this call also, they must be having this question, right? So before they ask, let me answer that why BPM is great career choice. See, and people have also asked me that will AI replace BPM consultants? See, AI can map process. AI can spot inefficiencies also. They can write documentation also. But then again, AI will get confused when two departments call the same thing by 3 different names. And trust me, until AI will learn how to survive office politics and unclear job roles, we are safe. AI will help BPM consultant, but AI cannot replace BPM consultants. And why I genuinely enjoy working in BPM? A few points. First of all, I get cross-functional exposure. I became the bridge. This is one of the most exciting thing which I like about BPM is that it is never confined to one department. You get to collaborate with HR, finance, IT, procurement, operations, and all other departments into a single project. And sometimes you became the bridge also between business and technology, between strategy and executions. So it's like getting a backstage pass to see how all the moving parts come together. One more point which I wanted to mention, that because in BPM it's all about continuous learning. If you love to learn continuously, if you wanted to grow, then BPM is your playground, because this landscape is constantly changing. From emerging tools like process mining and RPA, and new domains have also come, like customer journey mapping in operation excellence. So you will be learning lot many things in this area, and whatever work you are doing, it have a strategic impact also, because in many roles you just deliver a task, but in business process management you deliver the transformation. You will ask that why are we doing this, what can we improve, how can we simplify or automate this. So your work basically becomes the foundation for major decisions, from system implementation to operational model redesign. And BPM have global relevance also. And this is something which I like, because what makes BPM even more appealing to me is its universal relevance. Every organization, you take any organization today, no matter the size, sector, or country, every company relies on process. And every organization wants that their process should be faster, leaner, and smarter. Whether it's a bank in London, whether it's a manufacturing company in Germany, or a healthcare company in Sweden, all they need are process professionals. So if your BPM skills become if you wanted to be in BPM industry, and if you wanted global opportunities, so BPM skill can become your passport, I'll say. And on a personal note, what I found most fulfilling about BPM is you just take something messy and in an unstructured form, and you are transforming it into a clear and efficient, which is very much impactful. You can literally see the difference what your work makes. So, in conclusion, if you are someone who enjoys solving real world problems, collaborating across teams, and being at the heart of change, you can enter into this area because BPM is not just a job, it's a career that grows with you, that challenges you, and that will reward you also.
Yeah, it really does. Thank you. Thank you so much, Harshit. That really, I would say, opened new doors in my mind. Really, I had no idea how deep this field could be, but thank you. And I would like to hear more about it. If you ever found the time in future, I would very much would like to ask you to come in again and explain even in more depth any of the points that was discussed today. So thank you so much. And is there anything that you would like to add, or should we wrap up?
Yeah, so before just wrap up, like as you have said, like because this today's session was more of a starter pack for BPM, just to give you a taste of what BPM is all about. But if everybody found it interesting, and if you would like to dive deeper into this technical aspects of BPM, then yes, in future we can have the sessions and we can go into more technical stuff like decoding these fancy BPMN diagrams. And also we can discuss what kind of inputs you need when you create and map those processes. I mean, I'm totally up for it.
Thank you. Once again, thank you so much to Harshit Dobriyal for joining us tonight and explaining all about BPM. And I would like to apologize because we were short in time, and I'm sure that there are so many things that we could discuss in more detail, but I would very much hope that we could do it in future. Also, thank you to everybody who is on the session. Please, because I understood that there are people joining us from LinkedIn and not from the Google form. So please, if you could drop your email addresses in the chat, I will be sending the key days of the session via email to everybody that I have emails. So there's a chance that I might not have some of the emails of you guys. So if you could drop them in the chat, that would be perfect. And that way I can send the key takeaways to you. Thank you. I would say that this is the end of the session, but I want to stop the recording, or neither would I leave. So if anybody, including Amir Hussein with that question, would like to stay, along, we could stay and chat a bit more. But I would like to say thank you, Harshit, for making the time tonight. I know how busy you are, and it's pretty late in India, so I'm so sorry to have the session.
No, that's okay. I mean,
for midnight.
as I mentioned, that this is the time in which I'm actually free. So, and thank you from my side also, like to the CareerSol team and to you for this amazing platform, and to all of you for being such an engaged audience.
It's really our pleasure. Thank you so much. I would like to draw everybody's attention to this one more time, that we are now on Substack. So if you would like to receive our weekly newsletter focusing on career development, personal development, please subscribe so you would receive it for free in your email on Monday mornings. I would also draw your attention to the pinned message and the messages. That's how you can connect. So there's a LinkedIn or YouTube channel where you can also watch this event and the previous ones on YouTube. So please subscribe. Also, I would very much would like to ask for everybody's feedback. So if you find the time, please Scan this QR code and let me know what you think, how we can improve, any feedbacks that you might have. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much to everybody. This is the end of the session, but I will be staying if anybody would like to ask any questions or chat a bit more.
And
Bye.
also just wanted to add actually, one gift which Meena has already mentioned. So we will be sharing this optimized job search workflow with everybody. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it can, like, you can consider it as your powered GPS for job hunting.
Absolutely. Yes, I will be sending that along with the key takeaways of the session. Thank you so much. Oh, we have someone joining right now. Yes, the QR should be working. If not, I can drop the link right now one more time. Just a second. Try this one, Mehran. Maybe this would work. So Amir was saying, yes, Amir was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your description. Can I ask you two questions? Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay. I've heard that a lot of resume will be rejected by ATS, especially the resumes that send with location of Iran. Do you think that is it right or is it good that you change your location to other countries or not? And the other question is that I've totally used AI for my actually cover letter, but I realized that it is not good deed, and most of company reject it because AI, especially ChatGPT, suggests something that is fake, and it is not great for that job. Is it right or not? This is there are two questions. Please answer them. Thank you.
Okay. Meena, you wanted to answer, because I will be answering from process perspective. Like Amir, what you have asked is, see, changing the location again, it depends upon in which company you are applying, right? Because to be honest, changing the location is not, I mean, again, it's optional. It depends, as I mentioned, it depends upon the kind of companies in which you are applying, whether they need you to be present there in that particular location. For example, right now I'm in India. If I change my country from India to, let's say, Germany, maybe I'll be receiving good number of calls from Germany, from German companies. But when they will ask me to come for interview, I know I can't, right? So there is no point in putting the location. So that's why, again. Meena, you wanted to add on this part?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So in terms of location, see, you can always change that to anything you want. But the point is, if you, as Harshit said, if you get invited to the interview, what would you say? Even if you do it virtually, let's say you nail the interview and they want to start the job, but then there is a point that we all have to be clear on, our circumstances. So I would say you don't want to spend so much time and effort into something that could change drastically. I would say be honest from the very beginning, because if that company can hire you, even though you are, in another country, they will. But if they can't, it's better and, best for you, as the applicant, to know it from that very first moment. You don't want to waste your time and energy and effort on something that wouldn't, give you results. So but I would also add this, that maybe some companies or maybe some job openings do not require you to select your country when you're applying for that job. So if that's the case, you don't have to do anything. If that's the case, again, you don't have to put it in your resume or in your CV, which in either case, I would say never put it on your CV. If they ask on their application form, you can always answer it there. Or if you're invited to the interview, even better, you have more chance of proving that you are the right applicant, even though you're in another country. So maybe, you know, they were thinking about sponsoring someone from another country,
Right.
but when they get to meet you and do the interview, they are actually encouraged to do so. So that would work out. But I would say, be honest all the time. You don't want to waste time and energy. You want it to work. But also, you don't have to put it on the CV. If they ask, you answer. If they don't, well, you don't have to like put extra information just to give, you know, some sort of excuse to the ATS machines. We are dealing with the ATS. I know. What you mean.
So for this point, and like to answer Amir's second question, if you have seen the process, we have mentioned that one activity which is discuss with your mentor or for your CV, right? Search and find a mentor who can guide you whether your CV is right or not. In our optimized workflow, we have kept this activity.
May I ask Amir Hussain to repeat your second question again, so that I would make sure that I understood it correctly?
Yes. My second question was that I used a lot AI.
AI. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, cover letter.
Yeah, the AI for cover letter. So this comes from my experience, and I don't claim to be an expert. But as far as I have seen, and I have been told, and I have, you know, discussed it with different people, do not overuse AI. One thing that sets you apart from every other candidate is who you are and the story that you have to tell. But AI is not genuine, you know, it's not novel, it's not using anything new, it's just copying every other thing that has been ever said on internet. So it tends to overuse some buzzwords. You know, there are certain verbs, certain adjectives that it tends to use that is just evident that it's AI. So I would say only use AI as some sort of draft for your CV or for your cover letter, but definitely change things. And you can always use some, you know, prompts and tell it to not overuse buzzwords or be genuine, or keep your authenticity or your tone of writing when it's rewriting what you have, you know, given it. For that, I would also recommend you to watch our other event on YouTube. We had an AI expert on CareerSol. She explained all about it. I can send the link to you after this session. But in conclusion, never overuse it and try to be genuine. Try to tell your story from your perspective, because that's what sets you apart, really honestly. And I'm sure you, like everybody else, have your story to tell. So that's what, you know, draws the recruiter to you. That's what draws a manager to you. They would understand that you are the person that they want for that job. It's not AI. It should all come from you. But I'm happy to send you that, you know, link to that event so you could learn all about the different prompts. Or if you want to catch up after the session to talk more about this, I'm so happy to do that. But I hope that I may have answered your question. Any other questions, everybody?
Also, like just one point, if anybody having any question, they can also put on the chat. So we'll try to answer those.
Yeah, you can put your questions on the chat. You can always send them by email to me. I have pinned all the connection routes to me, and I can run it by Harshit if it's related to our session, or find the answer in any way that I can and send it to you. Now the session is officially over, guys. And I'm sorry, somebody just joined, but don't worry, you can watch this on YouTube later. I don't know, maybe there was a mix-up with the timing, but you can definitely watch this on YouTube later. I will upload it by tomorrow. But now the session is officially over. If you guys have any questions, I'll start by Amir Hussain. You wanted to ask something that I couldn't correctly understand, but if you could ask it again, I would very much like to try my best to answer it. I will see the results of the feedback, only me. Yes, Amir Hussain, please go ahead.
Yes, my last question was that, you know, that getting job offer from the location of Iran is so hard, especially at the moment. So my question is that, do you recommend us or do you suggest us that change our location physically? I mean, enter any countries on a work visa or on a job seeker visa.
So,
especially for Austria, I know that it's a good time for job seeker.
so do you mean if it's a good idea to move to another country, maybe for work, and then improve your chances of getting a better role while you are on, in another country?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I would definitely say yes. If you can, that would be like the best option. Usually the hardest thing is for people to get that very first, job offer from another country. Well, for example, in this case, we're talking about Iran. So usually is the hardest part to get that first one. But once you are, working on, I would say, a global scale or maybe a wider scale, because unfortunately in Iran, it's not very, doable, as we all know, because of the circumstances. But once you get the chance to work, from another country, in another country, well, usually they are more, I would say, working on much more wider scale, then yes, definitely your chances would yes, increase a lot. I would also say that it wouldn't guarantee anything. It's all up to the market, all to the specific role that we are talking about, and how you would approach this. But it would definitely increase your chances, because when you are in that country, it's less worry for the company. They wouldn't worry about the visa requirements, all the things that they need to go through, or maybe sponsoring you if you're already on a visa. So yes, if you have the chance to move countries and work somewhere else, that would definitely increase your chances of getting better offers.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Any other? Oh, Mehran says that the feedback link is not accessible using fixed it. Will you push the feedback link that I could use to give feedback on? Okay, that's such. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm not sure either that the link shortener will fix the problem, but it would definitely shorten the link. But yes, I will look into that. That shouldn't happen usually, but thank you so much for telling me about it. I will look into that and probably trying the link before the event from an Iran IP. So thank you for telling me that. Are there any other questions? Anything anybody would like to discuss, ask, mention, anything at all? Please just, you don't have to write it on the chat or raise your hands. If not, which I assume there's not, I would like to say goodbye to everybody. It has been great. Thank you to everybody for joining. I really hope to meet you guys again. Wow, there's so much celebration going on right now. I love it. Okay. Thank you. So it was lovely meeting everybody. We'll see you soon on another event, which I assume is going to be very soon. So keep an eye out. I will be uploading and I will be announcing everything on LinkedIn. Have a great night and goodbye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you
all.
very much. Bye.